Check, check. 2-10. I have a Polish friend. 1, check 2. Cristi, ai link-ul? Ok. Nelu? Da, pe Facebook, de pe EERA Facebook. Nelu, cheamă lumea să intre, că începem.
Yeah, I will. You need something? Anything. I would love to speak Polish. It's beautiful. Sing in Polish? Speak Polish. It's beautiful. I love the language.
Nelu, cheamă lumea, nu tu, trebuie să începem. Nu vreau să fiu. Domnul Dragoș, suntem online? Imediat începem. Gata. Okay, so we will continue with the second part of the workshop. We are online. Everything is good? Okay, so we are online. So we will continue with the third aspect of the second part, and I will talk about the key actors in the industry, because it's an important thing to understand this ecosystem, which is really complex. There are a lot of people, agencies working in, and it's good to know the role of each one, who is doing what. So here you have a list, of course, with the artists, record labels, booking agency and promoters, management agency, music publishers and copyright organization, pub, PR, digital and social media, technical team, and of course fans and community. So all this ecosystem I organize in a figure where in the center is the artist, and all the other agencies are there to help the communication between the artist and the fans. I will take the first one, which is really the core of the ecosystem, is the artist. He's the one who creates the music, who performs the music. Also, he has to be an entrepreneur and marketer, but usually is the less paid. This is the bad truth, because we are a small band. When you start to have some money, first thing you will probably ask for a sound engineer. Then you have a little bit more money, you will try to find a booking agency. And you are really the last one on the list of the priorities. And even for the big bands, the artist is the last paid, because first you have to pay all the agencies that are working for you, and what it remains is for you as an artist. I will start now with the label, because a lot of musicians are dreaming, I want to have a label, because having a label is a big dream, and if you have a label, everything is done. So first, what is the role of the label? He signs artists and finance recordings. This is something that I want to specify, that it's less and less true that the labels are financing the recordings. Quite often, it's the band who records and support themselves the recording process. It happens for the big bands that the labels are covering this cost. And usually the label handle production, more or less, it's the same thing, but most important is dealing the distribution and marketing. About the distribution, of course, there is physical and online distribution. For the online distribution, the need of a label is less and less important. But for the physical distribution, if you want to have your albums, your CDs and vinyls on the shops, specialized shop in the world, you need to pass through a label. And I think this is maybe the most important role of the label, is because he's developing the artist brand and long-term career. So what are the types of label? We have the major labels, the three big labels, Universal, Sony, and Warner, with really large budget, global reach, but they have a high control on the artists. And we have the independent labels, what we are calling indies. And here in the independent labels, I think we can split them in two types of labels. We have the big independent labels, like in rock metal, like Roadrunner, Nuclear Blast, Century Media, Season of Mist, Napalm Records, and they are acting like major labels. They are really major in their niche of the music industry. And we have small independent labels, which are more artist-friendly. You can have flexible contracts, but are adapted for niche markets, this kind of labels. What has happened with COVID and a lot of small labels, they closed their doors because they didn't survive this important event for the music industry and for the humanity. There are some pros. Why trying to be signed by the label? Sometimes you have financial support for recording, but most important for the touring. So quite often, as I said before, for the pay-to-play solution, if you are in a label with a big band, there are chances that this label will finance your opening act for the band that are in the same label. They are doing the marketing and promotion, and this is also important. They are doing physical and digital distribution. And probably the most important thing is they have established industry connections and access to major platforms. So being in a big label, there are chances for you to have a big booking agency, so then have big festival, etc. But, and also you can be helped by a professional team, which will handle distribution, PR, legal support, and branding. And all this can boost a band's career. But there are a lot of disadvantages. First is the pressure for commercial success. If you sign with a label, you have big pressure to have commercial success. So you can lose the creativity control. It happens that the label will influence your sound and image, and you have a deadline and album cycles. So when you have a contract with a big label, it's every 2 years or something like this, you need to reproduce a new record or something like this, so it's a really big pressure. And more important, another disadvantage is long and restrictive contracts. I know this because we were in negotiation with some labels, and usually they are demanding a contract for 5 albums. So you are committing for very long term, and the power of negotiation when you are a small band, it's really weak. So this means that you have the same condition 5 albums later. And this is why many big bands are trying to get off from label records contracts. There are complicated exit clauses. And another really bad thing, I think, for musicians is that the label owns the master recording. So this means that when you make an album, you are not the owner of the album, it's the label. So this is something to take into account. So you don't have independence if you want to make a new release, etc. It's not your right. It's the label who has the rights on your album. And you can say, okay, this is nice, this is good, but the problem is that there are low revenue cuts for the artist. The artist will receive only a very, very small percentage, like 5%, 2%, 10% of the selling. So it's really, really, really bad for the artist. Also, all the money invested by the label in the band is just an advance. It's not that, okay, they advance this money and then we will split the profit. No, this is a loan. First, the label will get back the money that they invested in your band, and the split, it will be just after that. There is also risk to be dropped if the sales are really low, because always the contract is in the advantage of the label. He's big, you're small, so that's the life. And even with all these disadvantages, there's still a very high competition and difficult access to the label. The do-it alternative is, of course, self-release. You can make digital distribution online with DistroKid, CD Baby, TuneCore. For example, we are doing the online distribution via TuneCore, and it's a really good service. You are master of your own royalties, of your own recording. You don't have to split someone else. And for physical online distribution, you have the Bandcamp solution. What is the best choice depends first of the artist's goals and values. As Hippies started the discussion with the basis of a band, is the trade-off between independence and mainstream success. And also it depends where are you in your career, because for example, for a young band, you are at the beginning, you have the chance to sign a contract with a big label. Maybe it could be interesting. You can say, okay, I will sacrifice myself for 10 years, the time to finish the label contract, and after that I will be independent. But for a band who has already 10, 20 years behind, doing this kind of contracts is not maybe the best solution, and especially for a band that arrives at a certain level, maybe it's better to continue to do it by itself. I will talk only about our experience with the labels. So we had some big independent labels that we are first time negotiated before Freak Show. It was in 2013, and they told us you are too old already for that. And imagine, 10 years later, we really progressed a lot, so they lost, I think, a thing there. So yes, it was the first answer. You are too old now. It was 10 years ago. And also, when we signed with Brainstorm Music, a booking and management agency for Germany, we were in discussion with some big rock metal label, and the condition of the contract they proposed, it was so miserable that we refused. This was 5 years ago. Something like this: you pay the production, the recording, you gave them the CDs, and if you want to sell them, you have to buy back your CDs to sell them. So, and they took like 80% of the online distribution and contracts for 5 albums. So in the stage of in the process, for our band, it was not a good solution. We choose to remain independently. But the small independent labels, as I told you, it's a nice solution because you are really, they are more human labels. They are not imposing this kind of contracts. But the problem is that the small independent labels are quite no longer existing because they are not powerful enough to stay on the market, and in the same time, you as musician, you can do your own distribution online. So the small labels are more and more rare. I will give the example we had for Apatia Records in France. They closed the label after COVID, of course, but with them, it was a very, very good collaboration because the condition they had, it was really nice, equitable, okay for everybody. And because of them, we could enter in the French market at the new level. First, this label put us in contact with the booking agency. So with the booking agency and the label, the things were going much better. And third, also they put in relation us with the PR company who really did a great job in PR. So all this package together was possible because of the label. And with these packages around us, we could have the chance to make tours in France with quite big events, opening for French bands, playing at Hellfest or Planner Fest and other big festivals in France. Also, I will give the example of Rock Attack for Germany. So Rock Attack from Germany is just a company owned by Brainstorm. So the company we were in contract for management and booking. Also, they didn't close, but from 6 agents, it remains only 1. So he didn't have the time to continue the collaboration with us. And we had the choice, the trade-off between a big label with the condition that I told you, or just to sign with Rock Attack with really nice conditions. And it was once again a very good solution because together this package with the label, the small label, the PR and the booking agency, this makes it possible for us to have tours in Germany and play big festivals. So this is the label. The label is just about recording, and if it's a big label, he will help you in promotion, especially to go enter into market. Now I will talk about the booking part. In the booking part, there are 2 types of actors. We have the booking agencies and the promoters, and it's not the same thing. We have to be careful with the difference between two things. What are the book agency? Their role is to book live shows and tours for the artists. They are negotiating the performances fee. They are managing the touring logistics. They connect artists with festival industry events, and they are building relationships with venues and promoters. So, as I told you, to go in the new market is really difficult as independent. So one solution is to try to find a booking agency in this country. And there are two solutions. You can have a booking agency with Europe, etc., or you can have booking agencies by countries. So maybe a better solution is to have booking agencies by country, but it means that you need to find partners in many countries. There are different advantages. There are many advantages to sign with the booking agency. We have direct access to festival venues and major events. As I told you, for us, no solution without booking agency, we couldn't arrive to certain festivals. Also, the booking agency can secure better gigs and tours with higher pay. A booking agent has a higher negotiation power with the festivals and with the venues. So it's very likely that what you will pay for the booker agent is finally the difference that he gets above your fee that you would have normally. Also, he will handle logistics, all the contracts, travel, schedules, visas, which is a lot of work. So it gives you a lot of time to do music and not logistics. And also agents can leverage existing relationship to get priority bookings. So this is nice too, but there are different disadvantages. You have to pay him. So usually the commission fees are between 10% and 25% in the industry. It depends on the level of the band, the level of the booking agency, so it varies a lot. Also what's happening, it's in time, the negotiation can change. You start, for example, as a small band. If you make an income of 500 euros, of course you need to pay the booker a little bit more in percentage because the amount of money you get is really small. But when you are a bigger band, for example, you can make a fee of 10,000 euros. In that case, of course, you have more power to negotiate with your booking agency, so you can go down a little bit with the percentage. Another disadvantage is the fact that established agents may prefer working with already successful artists. Even to get a booking agency is complicated, it's not easy, we tried a lot, sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes also it happens that you will have less flexibility in choosing where and when to play. Sometimes the booking agent is saying, okay, you will play here, 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 here. So you have less word about this thing. Also, there is a long-term commitment, and I think this is normal. If a booker signs with you, it won't be for 1 year or 2 years. It will be signed 3 years, 4 years, maybe even 5 years. It's logical. Why? Because imagine you have a booker in Germany. For 1 year, he's finding deals with festivals, with venues, with promoters, and 1 year later, okay, thank you, bye-bye, and now I have the contacts. So it's not fair. So this is why quite often the booking contracts are for a long term. And the last disadvantage, quite often the booking agency demanding exclusivity for a territory, at least. So, for example, I have exclusivity with a booker in, I don't know, in Germany. If a festival is writing to us directly, I want to book you, you cannot do that. You have to pass through the booker who will take his share, even if he did nothing for that. Okay. What is the alternative? Self-booking. But this means a lot of work and with low chances to find opportunities to play. So when to work with the booking agency, I think it's an important step when you want to go to national level. From our experience, from when we were working with Pro Music events, the band increased this in Romania, and part of this is because of our booking agency. They have more power in negotiation, they have networking, they know festivals, they are contacted by the festivals, can you find us some bands? So it's really important step if you want to go to national level, and also into international development. If you want to go international at the moment, you will need a booking agent. You cannot do it by yourself. So with our booking experience, we had, and we still have several collaborations with national and regional agencies. In Romania, we are working with Pro Music events. In France, we work with Share Production, but now they are closed. In Germany, we work with Brainstorm Music Marketing. They are closed. Luckily, for the last year, we have good friends in Poland and Czech and Slovakia. They are representing us. And for example, for Poland, here Piotr and Bartek, for example, after we booked with them, they found for us great opportunities with some big festivals in Poland with nice fees, so everything was great. So, yes. And now, this is the booking agency. So the booker is not organizing himself. He's just finding venues, promoters, festivals, preparing the logistic to go there. He negotiates, he does the paperwork, and that's it. The promoter roles is really different. The promoters are the guys who are really organizing the event. So he's dealing with the event promotion and marketing, he's doing with the ticket selling, he's coordinating the venue, the setup, the catering, accommodation, so all the logistic and technical part necessary to create an event. The promoter can be the booking agency. It happens sometimes, we had, for example, with France, when they organize some events, and for the other, they just do the booking. Sometimes there are venues that are promoter of their event. It happens that there are venues, okay, you come, you will have a fixed fee, and I organize. And of course, it could be the band itself who is the promoter of the event. The pros for the promoters is they are necessary for major live performances or for playing in unfamiliar markets. So as I said, if you want to go abroad without a booker, it's quite difficult. It's also interesting to have a booker because he will deal with the event planning and with the preparation of the tour. Also, a booker can ensure increased ticket sales and better exposure with his network and etc. And all financial risk covered by the promoter if playing for a fee. This is really interesting and important to know. If, for example, you go to a venue who will be the promoter or with the promoter, you can have a deal for a fixed fee. In that case, it doesn't matter how many people are coming to the concert, you have the fixed fee. So the risk is covered by the promoter. And we see that there are different types of revenue split. You can have a fee fixed, but in that case, probably it will be smaller than the total benefits. You don't have a risk, but of course, in that case, this means that the promoters need to win something. What the solution is to have a percentage of the ticket sales. It varies a lot. We have from 80-20 to 50-50. So it happens quite often that the promoter will ask for 50% of the income. Of course, with this part of the money, he has to pay the venue, accommodation, catering, etc. But still, you will lose 50% of your income. I think for me, I think one of the best solutions is a combination between the fixed fee and the percentage, because you can establish a minimum fee. We will cover, for example, the band cost to arrive there. And then after the event break means that the event it's at zero, all the costs were covered, and after that level you can have a split in percentage after the break. So it's, for example, let's say €1,000 is the fee until 200 tickets, and after 200 tickets, let's split 50-50. It's an example of contract with a promoter. But being with a promoter, there is still a pressure for success because a promoter will ask you to boost, to be 100% behind this show, but it's not bad in the same time. And sometimes it happens that the promoters ask for a split of the merchandising sales. And a lot of venues in Europe are doing this, and I find it was really a big scandal lately with big bands online, because imagine you arrive to the venue and they will tax 20-30% of your merchandising sales. Imagine the price that you have to put to remain with something. So this could be a real problem. The do-it-yourself alternative, of course, is organizing your concerts by yourself. Now we pass to other type of actors, is the management. And when we are talking about management, we have to know that there are two types of management: artist management and tour management. Tour manager. So artist management is his role is to directly guide an artist's career, handles finances and investments. And the tour manager is managing only the logistics during tours. So tour managing is rather furnished by the booker agency than the management itself. But I will talk more about artist management role. His role is to oversee an artist's career and strategy, has an advisory role and works closely with the artist to make decisions regarding their career directions, handle daily activities and financial management. He negotiates with the partners and make contracts. He searches also for financial resources like sponsors and grants. And also, he's a team coordinator. He is dealing with the lawyers, with the PR, with the booking, with the label. So a manager means really, really a lot of work. And this implies a lot of advantages. For example, it helps artists focus on music while handle business and financial management. So for example, in our case, as we have a lot of touring, this part, it takes a lot of time. So having someone else doing this part, it could be really useful. And maybe the most important is his expertise and industry knowledge, because he has connections, so he really can accelerate the band career. He has also negotiation power and helps, so finally, the band's career development. But there are disadvantages, of course. You have to pay him, so percentage of earning, it varies between 50 and 20% commission of all generated revenue. So manager is not paid by the concert, etc. He is paid for everything. Online distribution, merchandising, etc. Everything that the band earns, the manager taking a part. You will lose a part of the control. I had that experience with the manager when I played in a band in the 90s in Timișoara. We had a new manager of the band, and because of the manager, the band split it, because we lost all control. He even didn't like how he was shaved before the TV show, and he came, he shaved me, he didn't like my t-shirt. No, take the t-shirt with the sponsor, things like this. And I said, okay, that's not for me. So it can happen with the manager to lose completely control of your band. And of course, you are dependent on the manager's skill. If you have a very great manager, for example, I know the manager of Skindred. The guy is really, really good. Without him, I think Skindred wouldn't arrive there. But if you don't have a good manager, you will pay someone that will not help you really a lot. And of course, we can have potential conflicts of interest, because if a manager has several bands, sometimes, okay, I have a bigger band and a smaller band, so I will push the bigger band. It can happen. Do-it-yourself alternative, of course, do-it-yourself management. At the beginning of the band career, it's normal. It's the thing to do. You won't pay someone doing your financial things, especially that you are not big, so it's not a lot of work to do. But in time, as the band progresses, it demands more and more time, resources, networking. So yes, when you arrive at a certain level, I advise to find a good manager, but only if you have a good manager. So these were the management part. Now the copyrights. And on the copyrights, once again, we have two types of actors. We have copyrights organizations and publishing agencies. And their role is really different, even they are dealing with the copyrights of the music. So first, I will start with the copyright organizations. What are their roles? So they are tracking, collecting, and distribute rights for the use of musical works. I will go in detail later to understand better, but they are playing a crucial role in ensuring that songwriters and rights holders are properly compensated for their work. And first, we have to define what are the copyrights, what are rights that are protected. And they are the composition rights of the real copyrights. We have neighboring rights, in Romanian it's drepturi conexe, and master recording rights, which are really different. So for the composition rights, the organization will protect the song itself. This is the melody, the lyrics, and the arrangements. So who are the owners of the copyrights? Are the songwriters or publishers? I will come to the publishers a little bit later. Because, for example, I compose a song, I write the lyrics, I'm the owner of the music and of the lyrics, but if I sign a contract with the publisher, then it could be a split of the rights. And for the composition rights, the income is generated by live performance copyrights, radio airplay, TV, cinema, online streaming, and mechanical rights. The mechanical rights are the CDs and vinyls. The live performance copyrights, I think, at a certain level, it becomes something important. When you play, for example, at big festivals like Wacken or Hellfest, etc., the copyrights are split proportional to the time you are playing. So, for example, if you play 1 hour and Metallica plays 1 hour, the copyrights will be the same for you and for Metallica. And how it works, the organizer, the promoter, he has to pay a percentage of the income ticket selling to the copyright organization. It depends from country to country. And then the copyright organization will collect the money and will pay the rights owners. And I will give an example. For a festival like Hellfest or Wacken, it's between 500 and 1,000 euros. So it's not something to to let like this. Now we have so we have live performance that can generate rights. Of course, radio airplay. More often you are on the radio, more rights are generated. On live streaming, the rights on live streaming are really, really small. It's really, really small. And the mechanical rights, as I said, each time, if you are yourself doing this or you through a label, each time you want to make a CD, in Romania, for example, it's EACEA, you have to declare who are the owner of the copyrights, and you have to pay a percentage of the cost of the CD, which will be redistributed to the owners. So this is the composition rights. Who writes the song? Now we'll go to the neighboring rights. These rights are protecting the performance, who is playing. So who are the owners? Is the artist, the people who's playing, or the label, depending on the contract. And this is important to know that the income for the neighbor rights is not generated by live performances. It's normal because as a musician you get a fee, so you don't ask rights once again for the fact that you are playing because you already get paid for that. But the neighboring rights are generated by radio and TV, public performances, and streaming services. And the last type of rights are master recording rights. This is a specific recording of the song. It could be the song, a CD, an album. So it's the final product, the music. And who owns these rights, as I told you before, is the artist or the label. If he signed with the label, the artist loses his rights on the record, master record. And the income is generated by sales and streaming. Streaming online or sales of physical or online distribution. So this is the three types of rights. Now let's see what are the copyright organization types. And we have performance rights organization, mechanical rights organization, and collective management organization. The first two, performance rights and mechanical rights, in almost all countries are the same one. So in Romania, for example, performance rights and mechanical rights is EACEA. This means that in the same time they will collect the rights for your lives. If you play at festivals, the festival should declare the set list, and then the money comes to the authors. But also they are collecting the mechanical rights. This means if you produce a CD or a vinyl, etc., these mechanical rights are split again to the owners. And the collective management organization are only for the performance rights. So how it works with the copyright organization? Songwriters and publishers register themselves and their songs. So in the first step, you need as a musician or as a publisher to register to the company, to the copyright organization. Once you register as an artist, in the second time, each time when you have a new song, you have to write the partition, the score, the lyrics, and register each song. You cannot register a song before public presentation, so you need at least first to have a concert with that song or a studio recording that was public. And then the copyrights organization will collect the rights from the festivals, from the concerts, from the TV, from the radio, etc. And they will distribute the rights to the owners. I will give some examples. So in Romania, it's EACEA, who deals with the copyrights. In Poland, we have ZAIX. In Slovakia, it's SOZA. And there's example in Germany is GEMA, SACEM in France, PRS in UK. And our experience with EACEA. Honestly, we registered to EACEA 4 years ago only, because it was a time said, okay, maybe it's worth it to do that. For EACEA, the inscription is for free. In other countries, SACEM, for example, you have to pay when you register the first time. So yes, you can do it. It costs nothing, only some time. And what you obtain with this, something is important to know, especially for international rights, it takes time. It takes really a lot of time, and they have difficulties to get your rights from other countries. It happens for us, for example, with SACEM and with GEMA too. We had big festivals in France, in Germany. We knew that we gave the seed list with the composer, etc. And we need to send several emails. They also send several records to have the money. And after 2 or 3 years of discussion, the money came. Finally, but this is something to know that at international level, it could take sometimes 2-3 years. And even in national level, the rights, you will get it for the last year. So it's 6 months, I think, is the minimum delay to get the copyrights. So this is the organization that are managing the copyrights. What about the publisher? What's this guy? One more agency in the process. So the publisher role is to register songs to copyrights organization. You can say, I can do this. Yes, this is not the most important things. Also, he collects and distributes the rights. Okay, I can do this. This is not important, but the most important part of the publisher is the placements and connections. So how it works? I will sign with the publisher, and he has the power to place your songs on radios, on TVs, etc. So this means that you will have much more rights, but you have to split the income with the publisher. We didn't have experience with the publisher. We almost signed with someone, but finally we didn't because we didn't find correct their proposal. So the pros, they will manage the royalties, they get placements, which is really, really good. But the disadvantages, the cost, usually they are asking from 40% to 60% of your own rights. Sometimes you will say, okay, it's me, the artist, I composed the song. Why someone else, just for the placement, he will take more than me? Yes and no, because with the publisher, maybe you will win more than independent. It depends a lot. And once again, long-term contracts. As you saw in the business, music industry, usually the contracts are for long-term. So if you sign now with the publisher, probably we sign for 5 years, etc. So we finished the left side of the figure. Let's go to the right side. We are rather in PR and social media. So what is the PR and media role? They will manage an artist's public image and develop promotional campaigns. This means that having a PR, he will help you to prepare an electronic press kit, which is a very important tool for a band who wants to play anywhere. He will prepare your press release and distribute it to their connections. And also he will organize press conference for you. And it happened for us. So it's important. Sometimes it's really useful to have a PR. Also, a PR will secure your media presence. He has a lot of contacts. And if, for example, if you send you by yourself an email to Metal Sucks, I have a new album, the chances to be published are close to zero. Why? Because it's the same situation as for the festivals. There are big competition. There are many bands. They are receiving tons of emails every day. So the chances to have news in important media as independent are really low. Also, the PR will secure interviews, will find deals to make interviews on radios or webzine, and also reviews for your lives or albums. And also, what the PR is doing is a press tracking. A professional PR, you will come at the end of your contract or of each month with a file with all articles that were published with you. Interviews, news, etc. So what are the pros? It will help you to increase your exposure. You will have a professional press kit and media strategy. You will have access to big music magazines and websites. And of course, it will help to have a stronger branding and public image. The disadvantages, once again, high cost. You have to pay him. And there is no guarantee for results. No PR in the world can guarantee, okay, if you sign with me, it's sure that you will have 10 articles in I don't know which site. No, he will try, but it's not guaranteed that it will happen. And about our experience with PR, I will go with the global packages. I already talked about it. With Replica Promotion from France, it was probably one of the most professional relationship that we had with someone from abroad. We worked with Replica Promotion by chance. As I told you, we signed with the label put us in contact with the booking agency, and the booking agency advised us to sign with Replica Promotion. And Replica Promotion, to know, is the PR of Hellfest. So to see the level. Also, they were PR for Rammstein when they played in France. So it's Mr. PR Metal in France. And what it happened with him, it was really incredible. The first time he said, okay, we will need a day in Paris for interviews. I said, okay, what for? Interviews, okay. I said, I will go. We won't ask the guys to go to make a conference press like this. He booked a venue, a small venue like this one, from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening. And I had 17 interviews in one day. Everything scheduled from the morning, half an hour by each. It was TVs, radios, webzine, etc. It was the first part. Secondly, we did this collaboration when we had the tour in France, when I talked before. For almost all concerts, we had press there. Like in Paris, we had like 8 reviews, something that by yourself never happened. And yes, he's Mr. Promo in metal in France, so he had connection with the webzine, with the magazines, and often he can also, it's a win-win cooperation because, okay, you will come from smaller bands for me to make your job, but I will invite you for free at Hellfest. So it was a little bit like this. The next step, it was at Hellfest 2021, or before playing 2019. It was not yet about playing there, and he asked me if me and another guy from the band, we want to go at Hellfest with VIP passes for free to give interviews. Of course. So we went there and we had like 7 or 8 interviews in the press tent. Nearby was Megadeth and the big bands, and we were there giving some interviews without playing at Hellfest. And I think the biggest thing that happened with him, it was when we played at Hellfest, we had like 25 interviews or 27 interviews in the same time, several groups, the girls there, the boys there, in 2 days. So we played, I don't know, first day, second day. One day we had only interviews. And after 1 day of pause, another day with interviews. So it was an incredible experience. So yes, having a very good PR can increase your exposure and media coverage incredible. And now, for example, we are working with Asher Media for worldwide promotion. He's from Canada, and he has very good connection with big magazine, webzine, and now we just released a new video, and we already had like 20 articles published in Germany, in Canada, in France, everywhere. So yes, and there will be a lot of interviews. But I cannot give prices, but finally it's not so expensive that you can expect. But it depends a lot if the PR likes, and it's the same for the label and for the booking agency. If they like your music, your project, if he thinks, yes, it's a project that it deserves that I put energy and time on it, it will happen. So this was the PR. Very linked is the social media. So digital and social media marketing. The role is to grow an artist fan base through content creation and engagement. So this time it's rather content creation than sending press releases, etc. Quite often it happens that the social media is made by the PR, but it's not always necessary. And what they are doing is managing social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. And also they run paid advertising campaigns and influencer collaborations. Why passing through a digital and social media marketing? Of course, you will have a professional strategy and expertise. So it's another level. It's something to do by yourself, and it's another thing to have someone who's really pro on this one. You save a lot of time for the musician because you are a small band, you have 5 concerts, 10 concerts in 1 year, it's easy. But like us, we have to publish every day 1, 2, sometimes 3 posts because we have a lot of activity, a lot of concerts, new songs, etc. It's crazy how much time you need to spend on this. Of course, with a professional, you have better content quality, and also he can ensure ads management. For example, for the ads, I learned a lot when we had PR from Germany, from Brainstorming Music, because he knew technique that I didn't know, and I learned from him before doing by myself. So, to make it short, you will have higher online impact. The disadvantage is, once again, high cost, you have to pay it, and maybe a more subjective disadvantage is the loss of authenticity and less creative control. Because it's one thing to be yourself, exposing yourself through social media, and it's another thing where it's a professional who will write instead of yourself. So it's a little bit, you will lose your authenticity. But even with the social media professional that work for you, you still need to engage. Because it's not to the social media representative to answer to the comments, to message, etc. So you still need to get involved. So when do-it-yourself versus agency, I think do-it-yourself social media is really, really the best option for small and independent bands. But when you become mid-sized or even established band, I think it's a good idea to go to the agency. And in our case, for the next, very soon we will do that because the work necessary for the social platform is too much for us to do in the same time. Yes, it's nice do-it-yourself things, but you have a limited time. You can't do it yourself, management, booking, promoter, social media, PR, etc. So when the band is big enough to have a social media professional, it's better. Didn't finish yet, there are many people here. Usually when you see the articles about the actors in the industry, everything is stopped here. But I think there are two parts very important that are missed in the articles when you are talking about the industry of music. And one is the technical part. I think it's the base of this industry. Without good technician, it will sound very bad, live and studio, so nothing will happen. So the technical team is really important. And you have two types of technical teams, studio and production team, and tour crew, live team. In the studio team, I won't enter in details because this could be another presentation, but to know there are music producers, there are recording engineers, editor arrangers, mixing engineer, and mastering engineer. It happens that one guy will do everything, but the best option is to have several engineers that will work on your album because it's a new creativity. Each one will add creativity on this, and also the ear is very subjective. And if you work a lot on a project, you won't hear the problems. You get used with the sound, and you won't realize that, for example, at the mastering stage, that there are some frequencies that are not good, etc., because you listened and you work too much on the album. And for the tour crew, of course, the sound engineer, I think, is the first professional you will need as a band. We insisted on this from the beginning. As soon as you have the capacity to pay your own sound engineer, do it. Even if it's not the best one in the world, but he knows your music, he knows your gear, and he will have better results than a very good sound engineer who doesn't know what you want as sound. In the next step, of course, if you can afford a light engineer, for a show, the lights also are an important part, and it helps a lot to communicate with the audience. Then a stage tech and monitoring engineer, and finally maybe a VJ if you want to do video things. Obviously, the pros, you have a professional sound, professional shows, and once again, the big disadvantage, the cost. It will cost you. And the last part, but the least and not the last, or the last and not the least part of this ecosystem is the community, the fans. I think this is the base of everything. Without fans, nothing exists. So this is why I put in red the relation between artist and community. The artist is the core of the system, the community is the base. And all the other actors are there to make the relation between the music and the fans. So yes, the most important actor for a musician is the community, are the fans. Why? They are supporting artists by streaming, going to concerts, buying merch, buying CDs, direct financial support with crowdfunding or Patreon, and also they act as promoters by sharing music, engaging online, wearing merch, word of mouth promotion, etc. So the fans are really, really important for a band, and I think a band should continue to keep communicate with the fans, also online, and also at the concerts. I think it's not a good idea as a band to not answer to your message on your Facebook and or Instagram, etc. You need to answer, even if it's a stupid question. Okay, it's a fan, you need to treat him with respect. And also at the concerts, I know some bands, for example, they are coming to the stage, playing and going to the hotel. I think that these kind of bands, they are losing a lot of human connections, finally, with the fans that can establish a long-term relation. For us, at least, the relation with our fans is a long-term relation and became really our friends. We are glad to see them again in cities, etc. And yeah. So fans, I said all this. So conclusion about the actors in the industry. As you saw, music industry is a really complex ecosystem, and it's a big dilemma between signed and independent. The choice depends on the band's goals and philosophy, the band's level and history, and the opportunities. Because yes, I would like to sign with a big label, but it's not easy, not enough. It depends on what do you want, but also what it happens, what's your level and opportunities. So do you have remarks and questions about this part? Online there is something? Nobody checked. Okay. I will continue with funding opportunities. This one will be shorter because it's important to know how you can find your activity. The funding needs. You need money for recording, for touring, for videos, for promotion, for gear, for daily costs. So you need a lot of money. What are the resources? Of course, you start with your own resources. Personal. First, at the beginning, you have to pay. This is true. The first tours with Dirty Shirt, we paid by ourselves, the transportation, the accommodation, etc. Secondly is the band's income. And this is something I think that it's important for the bands when they start to earn some money to not directly share it between the musicians. We had 500 euros, each one will take 100 euros. Maybe it's better to be a little bit more patient and wait a little bit and keep this money for the band. Because, okay, you split the money every concert, and when you need to invest in an album, you need to get money back from your pockets. So it will be more difficult. Why again, etc. So I really advise a band who wants to have a long-term career to have priority on the band's budget and not the individual budget, and paying yourself only when it's possible and the band budget is really secure. Other source, of course, you can have sponsors, endorsers, and investors. Sponsors, it happens for us 2 or 3 times that there were some private companies that they sponsor us with, I don't know, 1,000 euros or something like this, but it happened. Endorsers, not really funding, is not really a funding resource, but it helps for the gear. For example, after we played when we have the second prize at Wacken Metal Battle, we had endorsers with guitar and amps equipment. So it's not the same thing paying 100% or paying only 50% or 30% of the cost. And in time now we had several endorsements agreements, and I can assure it, when you need a new guitar or when you need strings or new pedals, it could be really, really helpful. For free, it was not our case, but even having a big promotion on the prices, it's really interesting. And investors, we didn't have investors, but I have friends or band from France who had an investor, a guy who put 50,000 euros in the band, and to invest for all things I specified before, and he owned like 50% or 30% of the band income. So yes, it could be a solution. Why not? Other funding resources are the labels. But as I explained before, it could be complicated. And we have the crowdfunding and the grants. And I will talk a bit about this too. What is the crowdfunding? We have 2 types of crowdfunding. Subscription-based, like Patreon. I don't know if you know this system. You have fans that will support you every month with a small amount. So every month you will have like 5 euros, something like this. And you can have project-based crowdfunding like Indiegogo, Kickstarter, or in Romania, Sprijină.ro. How it works, a crowdfunding campaign. First, you have to register personally on the platform. All the platforms are asking that you are registered by yourself as individual. And in a second stage, eventually with the company or association or your band. Then you have to prepare a campaign, write a project with a description, what you want to achieve, etc., and define rewards. And for the rewards, some advice on this one is the fact that when you have a lot of products that you have to send after that, it becomes really complex and complicated, and at the end maybe it costs you really much more than you got it. For example, if you have a lot of t-shirts, CDs, and then you have 100 people to send everything, it's really messy. So with our experience, we saw that when you have rewards more like experience, it worked much better. Example, come with Dirty Shirt on tour a weekend. Have one hour of music class with one musician. We had like the Dirty Family Day. Remember that? For example, for all participants of our last crowdfunding, we organized a special event only with them. They had the chance to go with us on stage, singing with us, playing with us. It was a crazy evening, but it had success. At the beginning, we were like, okay, it won't work. Who will pay for that? It finally worked much better than the t-shirts, CDs, and other things. Okay, then you need to establish a budget, how much money you want to obtain with the crowdfunding campaign, and the goals. And here it's important to make the difference between fixed goal, which is all or nothing, or flexible goal. Fixed goal is all or nothing. I need 10,000 euros to make a new album. I don't have the 10,000 euros. I don't do anything. All the money is giving back to the participants. And for the flexible goal, okay, I take also 5,000, something like this. And you will pay the commission. Typically, it's 5% for the platform fee and the payment processing fee. And at the end, once everything is done, you have to distribute the awards, what I said with the problems. And we had 3 crowdfunding experience. The first one, it was in 2014 to make the Delicious album on Indiegogo, and we get 1,000 euros. It was really helpful, believe me. It was especially our family, friends, and this is the nice thing, because if you ask your friends and family, give me 10 euros to make an album, it won't happen. But with a platform like this, it can happen. And with 1,000 euros, you can pay, for example, the mixing and mastering. So it could be really useful. The second one, it was a pandemic special in 2021, this time on Romanian platform, sprijină.rom. We had 5,000 euros, and the last one is for the new van. In 2023, our van was broke several times, so we needed a new van, and we launched a crowdfunding campaign. Honestly, we didn't believe it would work, because 1 year before we had another one, so it was one after the other, but our friends were really kind with us, and we had almost 50,000 euros. So yes, it helped us a lot to buy a new van. And the last funding solution are the grants and the public funding. There are 3 types of grants: local funds like municipalities and regions, national, cultural, or youth grants if you are a young band, and international grants. We can have bilateral, international, or European. The pros is the free money. It's not true. It's not so free. Why? Because first, it's a highly competitive competition again, and there's a very low rate of success. So you will write 3, 4, 5 projects to eventually have 1 grant. So imagine you're preparing a project, you are working for 1 month on it, and the result is 0. And especially in Romania, for the Romanian grants, in time the competition became even higher. So a lot of work to do, and very low rate of success. Secondly, it's really heavy paperwork, at least in Romania. To make a project, you have to write, to prepare, to monitoring and reporting all documents. It's really difficult. And you can have some restriction. Of course, you cannot use the money as you want. If you made the project, I want to use money, for example, for a festival, I have to book a venue. You have to book a venue, pay, etc., what was established in the grant. So a little bit about our experience. I know that funding and grants for rock bands it's sometimes even our friends from Litka Grupa said, this is not our thing, we're rock and roll, etc. And I was the same, but I learned the fact that rock music can be funded in France. In France, there is a really culture of helping the association, the culture, the music. And there I tried first time to get some grants, and it worked. And after that, we tried also in Romania. So in Romania, we had also AFCN, Autoritatea Fondului Cultural Național. We had it twice for Folklore Tour, the tour with Ensemble Transylvania, and the European Electro Drum Tour. And the problem is that in time, the competition for these grants became even higher, because they reduced the total amount of the budget for the all grants is the same, but the budget of each project is higher. So now they have money for 15 projects in the session. So imagine that in the whole country, there are in music only 30 projects by year. It's really not a lot. So the last year we don't make AFCN anymore. Internationally, we had a bilateral fund. It was Saison Culturelle Roumaine on 2019, where the Centre Culturel Français, the French Cultural Center, and Romanian Minister of Foreign Affairs supported our tour in France. And a private foundation, there is Vacan Foundation. I just checked before the presentation if they are doing, and they stopped this for a while, but this foundation, which is sponsored by Vacan Festival, it's this foundation who is paying the Battle Metal prizes. So in 2014, they gave us the prize, not the festival. And they had a lot of small projects for bands who wants to tour or to make an album, etc. So I remember in 2018, for the international tour we made, I present before the poster, we asked Vacan Foundation with a small project, like in half an hour I wrote everything, if they can help us. And they help us with 1,000 euros. At that time, 1,000 euros for us, it was a big difference between losing money or being at zero. And finally, in 2019, after Wacken Open Air, our van broke in Germany. And we had people and the van to repatriate, to repair the van, etc. And we asked Wacken Metal Battle, Wacken Foundation, could you help us with that? And then, yes, they helped us with 5,000 euros. So we could pay everyone to go back home, the van reparation, etc. So yes, it happened. And international funds, European grants, we had in 25 and 26 for the project East-West Fest youth program that we made the festival in France, in Romania. In 2023, we had East European Metal Alliance for this project at Timișoara, and it was European Capital of Culture. So Europe helped us to do this little festival. It was really nice. And this festival was the base of East European Rock Alliance, what's happening now, because it was the first step for this project. And now we have East European Rock Alliance with the Creative Euro program. Do you have remarks or questions? Yes, and now we have Sorin Enuș representing Creative Euro program in Romania.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir.
It's a sign that I have to be shorter. So, Mihai started talking about Creative Europe, the program that is financing the EERA project. So I will present you briefly the funding opportunity for the music sector available under this funding program. But I will start by setting the stage and telling you a bit about the EU funding, because I don't know if you know, but there are two separate and different type of EU funding. Structural and investment funds. I will raise to see the... Okay. So, structural and investment funds. Well known and created to reduce disparities between the EU countries, can be accessed by some EU countries who need development, faster development, to say. They are managed in a shared responsibility system between European Commission and the member states. High bureaucracy, I have to say, because they are developed throughout operational program created via managing authorities. So the managing authorities are situated in the countries that can access this type of funding. Here are some examples that can be accessed by the music professionals. And the other type of fundings are the community programs. These are lesser known funding opportunities created throughout some, let's say, software program to develop cooperation, to develop education, to develop innovation, research, and so on. What is important here is that this type of funding are managed directly by European Commission throughout subordinated structures. And also, very important is that this type of funding are open not only to EU member states, to all EU member states, but also to non-EU member states that are participating in this type of funding after they sign a participation agreement with the Commission. One of these community programs is the Creative Euro program. I don't know if you heard about this funding before, but it started in 2014 by gathering all the financing program for culture that worked between 2007 and 2013. So, as I mentioned, this type of funding is managed by European Commission throughout one of its agencies, and this agency is called European Education for Culture Executive Agency, or EACEA, who's in charge of evaluating the submitted proposals, also supervising the selected projects, contracting the best evaluated projects, and then evaluating the final reports of each selected project. In order to promote this funding opportunity at national level, and also in order to offer technical assistance to potential applicants, a network of Creative Europe Desk was established in each and every country participating in this program. And as I mentioned before, in this program are not participating only the EU program, the EU countries, but also non-EU country. So this is the list of the participating country in Creative Europe right now. 40 countries are participating right now in this program, and the list will grow in the next years. The second Creative Europe program started in 2021 and will end in 2027, having a budget of 2.44 billion euros for the 7 years of implementation. The structure of the program is quite simple. There are two sub-programs: culture, that covers all the cultural and creative sector except the audiovisual and film industries that are covered by the media sub-program. And the third part of the program, it's a cross-sectorial strand that's support initiatives that are common for cultural and media sub-programs, and also is financing the media industry, the news media industry. So, from now on, my presentation will focus on presenting the funding opportunities provided by the culture sub-program, the one that is financing the music sector. And here you can see the measures under this program. The most important for you are the horizontal actions that are actually the financing line of the program. And I will present you today briefly the free funding opportunities available for you as professionals in the music sector. And I will start with the biggest and most important one, the one that is financing the ERA project, the European Cooperation Strand. This is the key pillar of the culture sub-program, 70% of the budget being distributed to this type of funding. It supports cooperation between organizations in the participating country, having two main objectives: transnational creation and circulation of the artists and their works, and also innovation. In order to be eligible to access this funding, the project submitted must tackle one of these two main objectives. Here are some examples of funded activities. As you may see, the list of activities that can be funded here is quite deep. All kinds of activities developed in cooperation between partners are available to be funded here. Eligible applicants are only legal entities, so natural person cannot submit application under this call. There are two roles that an organization can have in this project. The project leader is the one that is developing the project idea, is the one that is submitting the project in behalf of the consortium, is the one that is managing or coordinates the implementation of the project if the project is selected, and also is the one that is submitting the final report at the end of the project. All the activities in the project are implemented by the leader together with his partners. So the partners are fully involved in implementation of the project. There are three types of projects that can be founded here: smaller scale, medium scale, and larger scale project. There is no minimum duration of implementation of this type of project, but the maximum duration is 4 years. Right now, the 2025 call for cooperation project, it's opened, has a budget of around 60 million euros. And for this type of project, calls are launched every year. So we will have cooperation project calls in 2026 and 2027 and beyond if we will have a funding program for culture beyond 2028. A mobility scheme right now, because we received a lot of feedback from the sector who is in need of smaller grants dedicated to mobilities. So the Commission created in 2022 this small scheme called Culture Moves Europe, dedicated to 7 sectors, one of them being the music sector, that provided mobility grants for artists and professionals in cultural sector, and also trying to help host organization to organize residency. Being just a small scheme, this funding was externalized to a third party, Goethe Institute, who won a tender call, special dedicated to select an organization to implement this scheme. So Goethe Institute received in 2022 a 21 million euros grant in order to offer mobilities for individuals or group of individuals of up to 5 persons, and also residency hosts. This program covered daily expenses, travel and accommodation costs, and also special costs such as top-ups for beneficiary with disabilities, traveling with young children, or requiring visas. Unfortunately, right now, Culture Moves Europe is closed. The last call was in November 2024, but because of the high interest at EU level, the European Commission decided to continue Culture Moves Europe with a new scheme that will open in the second part of this year with similar budget. Right now, a call for tenders in order to manage this scheme is evaluated. So the budget is similar, 21 million euros, and also the type of the activities that are funded here are also similar, individual mobilities and support for host organizations. Now, last scheme. A scheme dedicated to the music sector. The program is called Creative Europe, but is not very creative in selecting the title, so Culture Moves Europe, so Music Moves Europe right now. This scheme will also launch in the second part of the year, supporting green transition and environmental sustainability for European music sector, having a budget of 5 million euros and supporting 3 types of actions: a capacity building program for the music sector to improve skills and knowledge in order to facilitate the sector's green transition, a strategic needs assessment and the mapping of the best and innovative green practices or tools, and a financial support scheme. This is maybe the most important for you as a representative of a diverse organization in the music sector, a financial support scheme for music organizations in order to adopt best or innovative practices for the sector's green transition and environmental sustainability. Around 60 projects will be supported under this scheme, and the maximum grant for each project will be around 60,000 euros. So stay tuned for more information about these two financing schemes. But here you can find useful links for this program, where you can find information about this program. So the program has a special dedicated page where you can learn more about the structure, the funding line, the eligibility criteria, and so on. Also, Funding and Tenders portal is the one where all the calls are published, and all the results of the calls are also published. So find out more about each calls by accessing this portal. A very useful tool for you if you want to access this program is this Creative Europe project results platform, who provide information about each project selected since 2014 when the program started. Short description of each project selected are available there, and also information about the partnership with contact details of each organization involved in projects, so you can contact them if you need partners for cooperation. Also information about the grants, information about the period of implementation of each project. So feel free to use this tool if you want to find out more about the project selected, or maybe develop your project idea. Last but not least, if you have any questions, if you need assistance related to the program or support in identifying partners for your cooperation project, feel free to contact the Creative Europe desk in your country. Our activity, it's free of charge, so feel free to work with us if you have a question or you need guidance in order to apply for this funding program. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have questions,
if you have remarks or questions, I will start just with a short remark. It's our experience with Creative EERA program. How we started, it was last year or 2 years ago. I was searching for festivals where Chaka Ponk, a French band, is playing. And I saw a festival in my region, and I saw it's financed by EU Creative EERA program. I said, okay, Europe is financing rock and metal music. And I entered the program, I searched for the results from the previous years, I searched for rock and metal, and I see several projects with rock and metal being funded, okay? Maybe there is a chance to try something. So as we had already bilateral relations with Litka Grubasa and Heleni Nocic, let's do something in three. Let's try to make a project, etc. And we applied, and with the first try, we had the grant. So it was really 100% success. Maybe we should stop there to keep the statistics. I'm joking. And what I wanted to say is that when you see EU programs, etc., it's scary. A lot of bureaucracy, a lot of paperwork, etc. And it was a nice surprise to see that it's much easier than the national grants. You don't have the same amount of control, of papers, of financial reports. It's quite easy, and it's fun. It's easier for paperwork, and the money is 10 times more. So yes, you should try. You should try. I think that there are chances if you make a good project. And what I wanted to thank Sorin is the fact that, as he said, if you have questions, you can contact the Romanian Creative Desk, and I can confirm this, that when we were writing the project, we had a lot of questions, and when we contacted Sorin, he was really, really kind with us. He took like half a day to talk together about the project, how to improve it, how to make it better, and yes, thank you. Do you have other questions about Europe programs or something like this? Now it's Ramona Graham, who she will present the ticketing related actions with the Romanian example.
Hello. I'm kind of nervous, so I hope I will read it. So I'm from a ticketing agency in Romania. It calls ambilet.com. Not .ro, sorry. I'm nervous. So, in order to put the sale tickets of the event in Romania, you should contract a ticketing agency. There are usually online agency platform, and you sign a contract. That means that you have to pay a fee. In this contract, it's up to 10%, this fee, and it's two kinds of contract that you can sell with it, that you can sign. Thanks. With a ticketing agency, there are type of that. When the fee is on top of the price of the ticket, this is recommended, and of course deduced from the ticketing price. Why is recommended to sign when the price is put on top of the ticket is because you as an organizer, you get the full price of tickets from the buyers, of course. So now that you sign a ticket contract, you should put the event on sale, of course. I have to read it, it's better. Putting the event on sale of the period and the period between the moment putting on sale and the day of the event. The the contract must be signed, which means the organizer of the event is established. Now, this I have to put an accent on it. Romania has a special law that say you can sign the contract with how can I say firma, company. With a company, and also you can be organizer if you are just a person with an ID card. Yes, you cannot. You understand what I'm saying? As an individual, yes. The law in Romania approved this kind of contracts. Of course, you have to pay all the taxes and all the fees, legally fees. So, this particularity is accepted only for Romania ID, Romanian person. No matter that we are in UE or Schengen space. Mihai, can you help me?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, she's not feeling very well. She was really ill. She tried to present today, but she's not able, sorry. So we'll pass for the next presentation. Sorry. No, it's like, okay.
Thank you for understanding.
Okay. We will pass to Christy. He will speak about music as a catalyst for social change. Nice title.
Bună ziua, eu sunt Dan Petean și am venit să avem aici o chestie între noi. Sorry, English. I am Dan
For
Petean.
English, press 2.
I'm used to speak in Romanian, so I had to do some Duolingo for today because my native language is Romanian. So let's start. I will read because I want to be fast. I will not keep you. You know what we are doing. So, as Mihai said, music has always been a powerful force to unite people, inspires change, and create meaningful connections. But beyond music and concerts, some bands choose to use their influence to support social causes like we do. So today I want to highlight how music bands can make a difference in social campaigns. What makes these efforts so impactful is the influence that a band holds with thousands or even millions of fan artists can convey important messages that encourage positive actions in the world, blah, blah, blah. So, whether through social media posts, charity concerts, and our partnership with organizations supporting social causes, bands create a domino effect, inspiring people to become more aware and increasing their level of involvement in social responsibility. Okay. Engaging in social activities is a way for a music band to show their commitment to societal issues and use their influence for the greater good, raising awareness and sensitizing the public. Over time, many bands and artists have chosen to use their influence not just to fill stadiums and dominate the charts with their music, and also to draw attention to important causes, from environmental protection and human rights to animal rescue and fighting discrimination. Musicians have become true ambassadors of change. So music has a unique ability to transcend the cultural, linguistic, and social barriers, reaching directly into people's heart. Bands don't just sing about change, they inspire it. So whether promoting peace, protecting animals, or fighting injustice, artists manage to transform a simple chorus into a powerful message that can influence millions of people. So therefore, music is not just an art form, it's it's a catalyst for a change, like the document said. As artists, I believe that we have an important role to be mindful of the messages we send and to support initiatives that bring real benefits to society, not like Firma, by the way. Dirty Shirts involvement in social causes. the dove has flown. So beyond the music, in Dirty Shirt, we have always tried to maintain a strong connection with our fans. Bond based not only on music, but also on shared values. Over time, we have been involved in various social causes, including charity concerts to raise funds for people close to us, like Rock for Livia in 2014, Together for Johan, you know that he has a problem. Even for the victim of the collective tragedy in 2015. We also do every year, we have an event on Christmas. It's called Santa Claus It's a Rocker. Since 2007, we have organized a charity concert to give children a better Christmas with toys and founds, and it was every year a different way. So that leads me to the next chapter, the Forever Friends project that we did. Was born out of a sincere desire to give back to the community, as well as we received from our fans. So as animal lovers, we love like animals, we decided to actively get involved in their protection. Whenever we could, we have visited shelters and saw firsthand the challenges that the organization faced. Thus, we decided that for every concert we organize in a city, we will seek a local NGO or associations dedicated to rescuing and protecting animals and invite them to our concert. The goal of this campaign is to increase the visibility of the organization within the local community so that the people who want to help, they will know exactly where to go to do that. Specifically, what we do, we invite an NGO to the event and provide him with a space where they can promote themselves, display informational materials, or sell products to raise funds. They bring a donation box, so the artist is not legally involved in the fundraising process. Before the concert, we give the NGO 3 to 5 minutes on stage to introduce themselves to the audience. The feedback we received from both the public and the participants associations has been extremely positive. This has motivated us to continue and get even more involved. By setting an example, we hope to inspire other artists and event organizers to do the same, because when more people get involved, the impact grows. So whether if you are an emerging band or an established artist, you can take 20 minutes to discover a social cause in the city where you are performing it and support it. Beyond the satisfaction that of doing something meaningful, you will have the chance to meet amazing people who fight for the welfare of animals or those in need. Plus, you will gain new fans who appreciate your involvement. But there are some advantages and disadvantages of a music band involving in social causes. Well, the main advantages are increased credibility, because music bands can bring visibility and legitimacy to a cause. Mass mobilization. Music can help a really large number of people to support a social cause. And deep cultural impact. Bands can change mentalities and promote responsible behavior. But there are some disadvantages also.
Politicization.
Oh, right. Involvement in social cause can attract criticism and politicize the band's image. As I said earlier, you know, huh? No need to mention it again. So there is an additional pressure of this, because once involved in this campaign, the band must maintain its commitment and be mindful of public expectations. So, as for some conclusion of this,
Just excuse me, you didn't mention, but there is also a lot of work with this.
Well-
really a lot of work to finding an association, to prepare a video, etc., communicate, etc. It's a lot of work.
Well, those are details. If anyone wants to ask me, I can share them gladly with you. So, as a conclusion, music is more than just an entertainment. It's a tool for social change, a means through which we can educate, inspire, and mobilize entire communities. As artists, we have the responsibility to use this influence to create a positive impact in our society through projects like Forever Friends that we do and the other charitable initiatives. We aim to show that every action counts, and then together we can make the world a better place.
Make it a
Thank you.
better
Thank you very much.
place. Okay, so we finished the second part. I told you it will be the biggest one, and now we can go to the third part, tools for touring. This is really important part for the bands. If we are here bands, to learn how to make a rider, info sheet, etc. So we have, for the first presentation, essential tools for touring bands with Bartek and Piotr from Poland Rock, and the band's technical rider with Bill, Adrian, if you want. Okay. I will come back, just 1 minute.
Hello. Hi. So we've heard a lot of interesting things here today, and a lot of information has been shared. And we do not want to repeat things that maybe you've heard about already. So we're going to try to make it really short, and we're actually shortening it a little bit as compared to what we originally planned to say. So basically, we want to talk about things that are kind of basic thing as compared to what has been discussed before. Okay, so there are three subjects we want to cover. First, Bartek will talk about an info sheet, and then I am going to cover paperwork, and then maybe the third part together. So
yeah, let's start. Let's start about info sheet. I think many people maybe don't know what is the info sheet. Info sheet is a document which can help you to make the best show possible into the club, into the open airs. It's very good solution for young baby bands, because it helps also to baby bands to prepare the best possible way to make their production, their show, and of course it helps to the promoter, to the organizers who also are involved into this info sheet. The info sheet must include some points, that contacts, hotels and logistics, production details, event details, schedule of the day, and additional information. We got example of this kind of info sheet, which we use in Poland, for example, and you can see it into the screen. In the beginning, there is a short statement, short invitation to the promoters, to the production guys, who received from us the info sheet. Because, as I told in the beginning, not many people know what is info sheet. So this kind of short message can help you to open a discussion and open pre-production for your show. What do we need to get there? Artist rider, of course. So you are putting it into the link, and everybody can download it. So it's in one place. Of course, main details as promoter name, phone, email, contact person on site, because sometimes or usually a different person is taking care of you during the shows. Can you go up, Peter? And the date, the city, event name, event type, because you can get club show, open air show, as festival, concert hall. So every event is different. Venue, place, address, that's simple because you know where you need to go. Venue capacity, of course, because it's always important also for example, for merchandise. You know what you can expect maybe. curfew, curfew time, merch stand, for example, so you can get information. Do you get on the site merch, possibility to sell your merchandise? Do you get a tent? Do you get a space? You know, if you don't get a space and if you don't get a possibility to sell merch, you should not bring it. So it's easier for the trip. Can you go upstairs? Up. Okay, so we get also pyrotechnics if you use. So it can be allowed or it can be allowed. And there are comments. This file, I should tell it in the beginning, is sent to all promoters. I'm managing a punk rock band in Poland, and I'm sending this file to all promoters. And those promoters can share this file to the production office, lighting designers, and everybody who are involved into the production process. So it's a file which can be edited every time. You see who edit it, and many people can put as most information they can. Information about the stage, stage manager, name, phone, email, dimensions of stage, because sometimes your production can be much bigger than stage. What will be into the festival, for example, risers. So you get information about risers. If you need, for example, 3 risers, and somebody will write, we got only possibility of 2 pieces of riser. You know, you need to try find a solution to play the show with 2 or 1 riser. Once again, can you go upstairs? Sorry. Okay. Comments, of course, and sound details. Sound engineer name. It's the same details. You can see right now the details for sound engineers. You know, if you're a big band and if you're touring only with your rider requirements, and your rider is in every city the same, and every promoter is providing your rider, it's okay. But sometimes for baby bands and younger bands, there is a problem to provide a good quality equipment. So there are points where somebody can write to you what PA system you will play, what subwoofers will be provided, front files, etc. It's very crucial for the sound engineers, because sound engineers are really important persons into the whole crew. The same thing about the lighting. You can put there every information, list of equipment, lighting console, lighting plot. If the lighting plot is provided, your lighting guy, if you got lighting guy, can prepare the show into the pre-programming, during the pre-programming. So it's also a part for the lighting designers. If you're interested about security, I am, for example, because I want to be sure my band on the stage will feel really secure. I'm putting this kind of points as security personnel, crowd barriers, bouncer, usher, system for marking guests, and I know everything about the security. I feel really comfortable. Day schedule. This is important, as you know. The day schedule. This is the day schedule regarding the show. Of course, you can put there what you want because every band is different. So you can get more ideas. For example, for this, we can put there, for example, interviews. So you will get a full schedule, what to do, and it will be much easier for you to make the production of this show. Catering, of course, time, location, numbers of carnivores, sum of points we are filling. So we feel, as a band, we are filling the positions of number of carnivores and vegetarians. So the promoter already know how many meals he need to prepare. Here the comments, accommodation, of course, hotel name, address. Number of rooms, so it's very simple. If we get one file, when everybody can be included and everybody can edit it. So, in my opinion, I spoke with Mihai yesterday. In Western Europe, is popular. InfoSheet is very, very popular, and it's something really normal. Everybody fill the InfoSheet, everybody read the InfoSheet, and every information is in one piece, in one file. In Eastern Europe, I think it's a problem because sometimes I need to fill a call to the promoter, ask him about the points, and then I fill the gaps. For example, sometimes they don't know how to edit online file, for example, so those are problems, I think, right now in our part of Europe, but hopefully in the future this kind of files will help to everybody. As I said, if you want to edit and do something only specified to your band, it's not a problem, so feel free to use this kind of gadget.
So basically, a tool to make our lives easier as band managers, and we want to promote this. Okay, now the second part is the paperwork, but a lot has been said about this before. So basically, maybe let me just say a few words about what happens when you confirm a show. Usually, what happens in our case is we get a confirmation per email to discuss the basic aspects of the show. And then in case of bigger companies, they sometimes want to sign a deal memo, which is basically like a smaller version of a contract to confirm in a stronger way than just in an email that the show is taking place with all the basic information. And only after then a contract with all the details. But this does not happen always. Sometimes it's just an email confirmation. Although we believe it's a good idea to generally have a contract to be safe and secure for all kinds of situations, because you can never know for sure what's going to happen. You may have been working with somebody for a long time as a friend and stuff, and then something goes shit, and and you can be left out in the cold. And obviously the other two important documents are the riders that also have been discussed before, the technical rider and the hospitality rider. And one I want to say is, because this is a very basic thing, but well, I would like to mention that why do we even have these? Like, why isn't everything in the contract already? And the reason is simply because we want to have more flexibility. We want to be able to change things, like to have a signed contract already, but then at the end, like if there is an extra need for the band 2 weeks before a festival, say, we want to be able to update our needs. So first we're signing a contract with all the details, and then as taken out as a part of a contract, but taken out of it, there is the technical rider which can be updated before the event, and it helps you as an organizer as a manager of a band to to have things your way. Some basic things about the contract that I think are quite logical. So it should be simple, it should be short, it should contain all the basic information, the date, time, the financial conditions, when the payment is taking place.
Especially for the baby bands, this should be short. If you are a baby band, you don't want to scare anybody who promote the show.
Yeah, we also consider it's a good idea to put something about promotion in there. It looks good that you want to promote the show. It also helps when the festival organizer, the promoter, is committed to promoting the show a little bit to help you. So this is something to mention. Contractual penalties, force majeure, these are also things that help us come out of a difficult situation. But let's not go into too much detail. I guess we can jump over to the last part. Hospitality, yeah, this has also partly been covered before. And I think more advanced aspects of hospitality have been discussed already. What we wanted to say is that these are things to really think through for a beginner band. You want to make sure that your band has a nice daily life, especially during a tour. So all these things need to be discussed, but there are also good examples that can be found online what to put in a hospitality contract. Would you like to?
If you are a baby band, for example, you should ask about alcohol. Don't want it, but you can ask. Just ask. For example.
Well, I guess we'll be finishing here to keep it short. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If there are some questions or remarks, I already have a question. Don't need to have a name, but in the hospitality rider for Poland Rock, did you find some crazy demands? Some examples, if possible.
That's an interesting one. I remember Bob Marley kit, for example.
Bob Marley medical kit
Bob
in
Marley
Poland
medical
is
kit.
illegal as in your country.
But I think we kind of covered that unofficially. Something else?
No, I don't think so. I saw just a couple days ago in the Polish hip hop artists rider. They need after the show the toothbrushes with the paste after the show in the dressing room, and I think
so. With the toothpaste already put on the toothbrush, so
after,
they don't have to do this.
Exactly
themselves.
after the show. So it's crazy. I don't know which way we are going.
Okay, and I have some remarks about the hospitality from our experience. As you said, for the baby bands, you don't need this, etc. And until 10 years ago, the only thing we put in the hospitality rider was water on stage, because at least this one, yes. And we had problems to have water on stage. This is why we put it in the rider. And I remember we had the Sofia Metal Festival, a big festival. And when we send the riders, etc., we just send this thing with the water. And we arrived there after all day, one night driving, etc. We arrived in the backstage, and a lot of water in the backstage. We're watching, calling Nelu, but you said we have catering, we have food, etc. Yes, they said you have everything. We talked with the manager of the festival, what's going on? Oh, we see with the stage manager. I said, I did what it was in the rider. You ask for water, you have water. So, yes, it happened. So, and something, yeah, and it was okay. Finally, they searched for things for us, some fruits, some snacks, etc. But we didn't have the catering we should have. And what I advise the bands when they are writing the hospitality rider to be really nice. Not, I want this, I ask for this,
That's
please,
true.
if it's possible. Some, I don't know, some water on stage, some drinks, some snacks, etc.
That's true. That's important to ride the hospitality rider very comfortable for the promoter. I think for me as a booking agent, production manager at Poland Rock, for me when I need to write, when I'm writing to an email and I'm putting their information, we got really good Polish beer. And the band demand, for example, the Denmark beer, and after that they are not drinking it. I'm asking, why we can't use a local drinks, a local beer, a Romanian beer, very good.
Do you have other questions from the musicians? You have the chance to ask people from the big festivals how it works.
All kinds of questions.
Yes? Wait.
Hello, I'm George. Nice to meet you. So, if you're a small band and you want to take it step by step, and let's suppose that at a certain point in your career, you decide as a band that you have to apply to a bigger festival. What are you guys taking in for a band to come and play at your festival?
How we are choosing the band, for example?
Yes.
In my opinion, the best way to book the band is to see the band live. So as you told in previous conversation, the live session is for me very, very important. The live recordings for other festival is for me very, very important. And for example, the recording from the cell phone, from the iPhones, from the smartphones is much better for me than a studio recording, in my opinion. And I think I can feel, for example, from the smartphone recording, I can feel how the audience is reacting to the music. From the studio album or studio songs, I can't imagine how the band can play at Poland Rock, for example. And one time when during the pandemic, when we run preliminaries for the Poland Rock, and we do not make shows all over the Poland, where we every time checking the band how they are doing live. We got some bands with really good CDs, but live.
But otherwise, it's important as well. Have you seen better bands live and on studio? They sound like a proper.
You know, sometimes because I'm working with the band, sometimes I believe that in past I believe when I was stupid I believed I believed that the studio album should be at the same level as the live recording. Right now I know if for example the band got a potential and they will make a really good CD. For example, after the 1 year of touring. They will play the same level as on the audio album, on the recording. So I think it's okay to record something good, but we need to get the point where we are so good live as in the previous recordings.
Okay, thank you. I have one more. Sorry.
I just wanted to add to answer your first question, something that Mihai mentioned. You just gotta keep trying. This is also important. Like keep sending these emails, keep signing up, even if you're not selected, because you just gotta be lucky at some point.
And I think it's so important, as Mihai said earlier, you have to play in that country beforehand. So maybe you have like a little fan base before applying for a festival.
And I have also a question. Do you give importance to the quality of the application, the EPK, the pictures, the logo, or you're just watching the music?
That's a really good question.
We are checking everything. For example, first of all, of course, we prefer live recordings. But we are checking how the band released the CD, released the DVD, released the albums. We are checking the social media, how the band is doing into the social media. It's important for us. How many shows they are playing, how many clubs they are visiting. So we are checking everything because everything is when we will collect everything in one part. We will know much more regarding the band, and after that we are invite the bands to the shows in Poland, and then we are listening them live 20 minutes, and we know what we will do with this kind of band. For example, we are accepting bands. First of all, we are choosing the best playing bands. But for example, we got the punk rock bands when the audience is crazy and the audience want this kind of band. So we also apply this band. We are doing with them pre-production meeting, something like that. And this band will be much better prepared than preliminaries. They will play a show and possibly for the biggest audience, for example, than the better bands who get into the festival in the first row, for example.
Okay, thank you.
Finally, you are judging the whole package. It's important.
Yeah.
So the EPK, the pictures, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, if you have an application with a band with bad pictures, you will listen to the rest or you stop to the picture.
Once again, sorry,
For
pictures?
example, there is a band who applies to the festival
Yeah.
and with the bad EPK, with the bad pictures, etc. Would you step this to go further or you stop there if you see, oh, okay.
I think I will check the music first and now
okay.
I will decide. I think the most important thing for the bands is to be every year on the stage. In the future, your idols will not play on this stage, but maybe you will play. So if you will be consistent every year, you will be the band who will be strong and as a rock in your music industry for sure.
But could you, as a band, be too insistent to a promoter?
Once again, sorry.
As a band, could you be too insist too much on the cause, like on a concert? I sent you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mails, and I keep sending them to everyone.
We are receiving emails with Piotr. We are responding for our emails. For sure, we are. Of course, it's not day by day because the bands are, as you told, they are writing, and still writing to the promoter, to the booker. We are sending them to the preliminaries file, and they are filling the special file. They are registering, and then we know we are make a meeting, 1 week meeting with whole group of jury. And then we know every band in alphabetic list who access to the preliminaries, and then we are making the decisions.
I'd say it's not like we never. If the band is good enough, if they keep writing, it's only good. I mean, if you write too many times, we just stop responding, then maybe you should get the point. But other than that, unless somebody is to be eliminated right away because he's just a crazy person with one guitar who can't sing or something, these things happen too. But if it's a good band with good quality music, if they are being repetitive and like coming on strong, it's not bad. I wouldn't be afraid of that.
We are also inviting the bands who change the members, for example. If we feel the band's got the big potential, for example, and the frontman, for example, is changing, but the new one can get better potential with this band, with this crew, we are apply again this band and we are checking. Some of this kind of bands really works. So believe every time and believe always, because the changes are not denied your future.
Thank you so much and see you on the email.
Thank you. So now I invite Adrian Biller, our sound engineer, to present a little bit the technical rider, which is really an important part for a touring band.
Hello to everybody. The technical rider. Basically, the technical rider is the most important thing between the band and the technical team of the venue or of the club or where you guys play or arrive. So I will try to be very fast and quick because Mihai changed my actual presentation from 70 page to 27 page because he likes a lot of data. So basically the technical rider provides all the essential technical information about the band. It's also attached to the contract. If there are not some things from the if there are some things missing from the technical rider, the band can cancel the show and so on. It is very important to have like a well-structured technical rider, very well made and very well structured. Also, when you are editing, just use like a respectful and professional tone when editing the rider. So you can move on. The technical rider has a few chapters. We're gonna go through them very quick. It's the travel party, the general information, the input list, the monitoring list, the backline requirement, stage plot, in-ear monitor, frequencies, set list, additional information, and contact details. We will probably make like a whole workshop in the near future with regarding technical stuff. Let's go with the travel party. First and most important, you have to introduce the band members. Also, you have to introduce the technical team. How many engineers you have, how many stage techs, if you have like a monitor engineer. This way you can provide the venue with some very useful information about the overall image of the band, and you're gonna know that the venue what to expect from you. Go on, Mihai. And this is like an example of travel party with 70 crazy people. Plus stuff. The general information. This is about what the bands bring and what the band needs from the venue. So this is. I think you can go on, Mihai, with the example. The next slide. So as you can see here, like in the general information, it's very important when you're a pro band or semi-pro to travel with your own mixing desk, with your own sound engineer, and you can put all these in the general information. You can let the venue know how many cables, how many stands, how many riser do you need, how many stereo in-ears if you use in-ears or wedges. You can let the venue knows how if you are using like a stage, not the stage, a light desk for the lights. Yeah, go on, Mihai. Yeah, about the input list, like this is also very important because it shows your number of channels, how many guitars you have, how many vocals you have, whatever, other instruments, how many keyboards do you have, if you have samplers, if you have wind instruments, etc., etc. This is very important for bands that doesn't own like a sound engineer, because it let knows that the resident guy what the band needs and what's the layout of that band. Go on, Mihai. Key consideration. What we have wrote that the list ensures that every required audio connection is accounted for. Depending on the band's level, you can ask for various mics if you have certain instruments that need certain sources. You can write them in the input list. Also, you can go with own or required equipment. Also, it's applicable for drums, or if you're go out touring and you're not able to bring your guitar, you can ask for the venue to provide you with a guitar, or maybe with an amplifier, or maybe with something similar. Of course, bands are generally responsible for providing their own jacks. I encountered so many times when there were this guitarist that asked for a TRS cable and we didn't have any at hand. This is like an example of our input list, of Dirty Shirt input list. We have some owned microphones for the drums. We need some DPA 4099 for the clarinet, which is a very good mic. And I think the slide will be online later, and people can watch it. Very important also monitoring. It's a kind of new. It's very similar to the input list, but it shows the amount of mixing for every musician. Like, for example, here's the drummer. He needs some kick at level 6, 6, 6, 6, and then he needs some more violin maybe and less vocals. And if you don't have your own sound engineer, it shows a very clear image for the resident sound engineer or for the resident monitoring engineer how to make your mix in the in-ears or in the wedges. Let's go further. Backline and personal equipment. Backline refers exactly how it's wrote in the display. Is the essential musical equipment, excluding the PA and the monitors that the bands need for the performance. We will include in the backline the drum kit, the guitar and bass amplifiers, if they are needed, keyboards and stands, microphone, DI boxes, accessories, other equipment such as laptop, samplers, percussion, additional accessory. Own versus provided equipment. You have to specify the venue if your gear is owned, or it has to be provided by the venue. Because if it's provided by the venue, that means a lot of some costs for the renting that equipment. And maybe that equipment that a certain musician asks, maybe it's not available. So this is an example of our backline and personal equipment. We always travel with our drum. We just need like a drum riser. We go direct. We don't need any amplifier or cabinets because it's much easier to carry them and less costly. We need some risers usually, and yeah, that's it. About the stage plot, very important. The stage plot shows where's every musician on the stage, where's every amplifier, where's every wedge, where is every outlet on the stage, and also it's very helpful for the venue technical team to shorten the amount of time for the setting up and set up the stage. So yeah, as I said, this is like a stage plot of our stage plot. The number represents every channel. Then we have the outlets, the monitoring mixer, the keyboards. This is made in Stage Plot Pro, which right now it's discontinued, but it's a very nice software to make the stage plot. It's very UI friendly. So yeah. About the in-ears, like everybody now is starting to using in-ears. Maybe in the Western Europe, it's not a new thing, but here it's some kind of new thing. So the transition from wedges to in-ears is becoming more often. It's important to, if you go abroad, it's important to let the organizer know your frequency from your microphone, from your in-ear, because there are some legal issues with like different countries have strict regulation on wireless frequencies. That's the whole thing. And the key recommendation: go with. Check the regulation before touring internationally to avoid frequency conflicts. And if necessary, if you go abroad or to a festival here in Romania, just rent some in-ears. Yeah. This is an example of our frequency. You see, we have a bunch of frequency. Romania doesn't have a very strict regulation, not yet. For the in-ears, that's why we have that shawarma of frequencies, and yeah. But for the Western Europe, you have to be very strict on this.
Just to say that it happened to us that we couldn't use our EM system because our frequency was in the police frequencies, etc. So we had to go to the monitor, to the wedge, or to ask the local team to provide the EMs.
Yeah, that's true. The set list. This is a new thing for me, but I wrote it down. It's very helpful also for the engineer and for the light engineer just to just anticipate the changes in the set and program the lights and the video. Some venues. This is new for me. Some venues report performances to collecting societies, ensuring artists receive royalty payments for their.
Legally, they have to do it, but it doesn't happen all the time.
All right, cool. Additional information: if you have any backdrops, either it's digital or you have like a mesh that you're hanging behind the drummer. How many risers do you need? Time requirements for loading, for setup. Like everybody's misconfusing the sound check time with they don't take into consideration the loading times, the setup, and then the loadout and all that. So you have to be very explicit to your loading time, to your setup time. to set up and sound check, changeover, and yeah. Go on, Mihai. Be very clear with the contacts. If somebody needs to contact your band or your technical team, have the contacts very, very clear. The tour manager, the sound engineer, the light engineer, the stage backline monitoring technician, booking agent, because allows the venue to confirm technical details in advance. So very, very, you have to be very clear with every contact you are writing in your technical rider. Some tips. Request the venue's technical rider in advance, so they have to send you the technical rider. Maybe your band doesn't have a sound engineer, and the sound engineer needs to know what soundboard will operate. Also for the light engineer is available. Also helps to identify potential technical challenges early on, so you can address or anticipate any problems before the show. Very important, like it happens to us very, very, very often. We send the technical rider, but the promoter didn't pass the technical rider to the technical team of the stage. And lucky for us, we brought some copies of the technical rider, and we just gave them to the technician, and they know how to do. Or maybe they had like an older version, and with Dirty Shirt we have different scenarios. And yeah, just have on hand some papers with your technical rider just to handle to.
I confirm it saved our lives several times, because with the complex production, like in our case, they didn't have the rider, and without a rider it's really difficult. They don't know which channel, what we need, so having a paper version, it's really, really useful.
Yeah, just have it on hand, yeah. Call the venue, we're replyable. If you're playing in a small venue and do you know somebody there, just call him, tell him, hey, I need this and that, and maybe it's more helpful than an email sent by your tour manager or from your sound engineer that the mail doesn't get to the right person. And be friendly. When you arrive at the venue, just be friendly. Don't be, yeah, just go on.
If you are not friendly with the local tech team, you risk to have a very, very bad sound. Huh?
Yeah. Exactly. The final sound quality is determined by the worst component in the sound chain, not by the average of the best piece of the equipment. So yeah, very, very true. Every part of your setup contributes to the overall sound. So it's very important to pay attention to every aspect of the chain, to the entire chain.
I will give an example. You could be the best guitarist in the world with the best guitar, with the best amplifier. If you have a shitty cable, the sound will be terrible.
Yeah, true. Okay, also some tips. As Mihai said earlier, like good musician performance, no amount of technical equipment can replace the value of a solid performance. You have to have the correct personal gear. Make sure all your personal equipment it's working. All your cables are working. Nowadays, you can buy like very cheap everything. It's not like 20 years ago when everything was very unaffordable. Yeah. Priorities for a great live sound: rehearse. Not at sound check. Just rehearse in the rehearsal room. Know your songs. Play well. Give everything you got. When you're on stage, you're the master. You're on stage. Everybody's down there. So go everything you got. As soon as possible. Go with your own sound engineer. It's very important to have your sound engineer because he knows exactly what everybody needs, and he knows the bands well. And yeah, it's very important to have like a sound engineer. Like basically, the sound engineer is the I don't know, the extra member of the band. So it's a member of the band. Yeah.
Just like you.
Yeah, exactly. own like a monitoring and mixing console, get some in-ears, and of course this is cost-wise. I don't know how many will get. So owning a full tech team, from the light engineer to a very good stage tech like we have here present.
Why are you laughing?
I have to. Yeah. Yeah. Just go rock out and have a great show. Thanks for watching, and yeah, that was my first presentation. Yeah, cool.
Do you have some questions or remarks? Is there someone who's checking online if there are questions?
Yeah, online. Thanks you. Thanks.
Here in the audience, there's only some questions. It's too technical, so it's too late. So we will go to the last presentation. Normally, so just to, in the communication and promotion part, normally we had 2 presentations, but we are really late. Ella will present now the online promotion. And for the running ads presentation, we don't do it today because it's like a tutorial. So you will find the file, you can download it online. So not necessary to do it now. So now I invite Ella.
Does it work? Hello. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about the online promotion and on the side of the artist. So I'm going to start, like, besides this whole social media is one of the main ways to get an audience, and it's obviously the only way to keep in touch with your fans when you're off the road, is the fact that it's very important to acknowledge the stage your band is at the moment. And so we're going to go to the introduction stage, given that this panel is more about the young emerging bands, right? So usually when you have a band, it's like you get a manager, you get a tour manager, and then you don't have anything else to do, right? So everyone is doing all the work for you. Basically, you got to work on to-do list, right? So you got to be prepared. Like, if you want to get the attention of the right manager, it's not by basically sending them a cold email with, look how awesome my band is, or whatever. It's best to acknowledge that the best way to actually know you're on the right path is by having these people get in contact with you. So basically you got to work on your online presence, which means this is your home base, your website, basically this. The hosting, the design of it, and everything else. If you go back, we have social media, which is, as we know, most of the platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and other community-related, Reddit, Discord, Twitch, everything else. You gotta have a content creation strategy, right? So you gotta have your promo videos, you gotta make invitations, posters, giveaway, everything else like that. And basically, once you have this, you gotta adapt to the objective, which means that you gotta adapt the strategies based on the fact that you're releasing a single or an album or going on tour or something related to this. So you gotta have an object. Targeting an audiences, that means you gotta analyze the interactions, the interest of the audience, the lookalike audiences. Communication with Meta is basically, and I should have added Google Ads as well. It's about ads mostly in the social media. Press presentation, my colleagues talked earlier about the EPK, the press contacts and everything else. Event invitations, interviews, newsletters, press reviews, engagement, and community, right? So as you build your website is basically your home base. So you got to showcase your music, your bio, tour dates, press features, and through it you should collect all the email addresses because that's where the most important data is, in fact, not in the likes, not in the comments, it's in the people who actually take the time and go a step further and actually give their personal information for you to actually use it and create a connection with them, right? So you gotta have the key elements with the hosting, just choose everything. I am a big fan of Wix, to be honest, and I fucking hate WordPress. There are others, I don't remember the names at the moment. Designed, so the website should reflect your brand and your music style, obviously. You should use visuals, album art, and videos, everything that aligns with your identity. The pages, it should have, it's the home page, the about the music, with streaming links and everything. You should have a page for your tour dates, press, contact, and obviously the store. So this is very important because don't think an app or a platform is the answer. And if you look for shortcuts, you've already lost. If you think about the bands who actually, let's say they were an exception, never think about you are the exception. That's just something that happened and it wasn't planned. It was a result of something that was planned. They just had to like change the objective and make most of it in the specific moment. You gotta work in being more creative and having a stronger point of view. Basically, you gotta have something to say, not just be present, not just, I don't know, not just commentaries or simply fill out your social media with memes or whatever the fuck you think is working at the moment. And always start with the best material you have, the release. So if you ever think of releasing a song, but you kind of feel that the hit song would be somewhat the third one or something like that, just go with the best song you ever have. Because if you are to present your song to someone, for me, let's say as a fan or a manager or a label or whatever, if you don't get me by the first song, probably I wouldn't listen to your third song, which you think it's not the cherry on top. You should go with the cherry first, always. So regarding this whole thing with the social media, with the planning, with the website, with the merchandise, with everything, it's not something that's specific that's gonna blow you out, let's say. It's just everything has to be in its own place and present with all the informations correct at the present time. It's also quality and quantity in terms of content, social media and everything else, and it's all based on discipline. So this is the thing, like a lot of bands do not take the time to create the actual foundation. You gotta know a little bit about the social media. You gotta be ahead of the curve with the industry. You gotta engage with the people constantly. Everything that comes from you should be from a genuine spot. The brand identity should be locked in with yourself, release the most in terms of quantity and adapt later, and that I mean the content. And artists should create the content first, always. So what I mean by this is the fact that if you're a young emerging band, don't hire someone for social media or everything like that. Because everything for me, even for me, I work with a lot of artists and they are well established, some of them. But even if I come and I try to communicate with the fans on social media, I always sell. I don't engage. Like I'm selling. I am that person like, like come to this concert and whatever. Like if you are an emerging band and you're saying, hey, come to my concert, right? Fuck off. I've got something else to do, right? Or listen to my album. No? Why? Like, I have my favorite bands. Why should I give you a chance? Right? So you got to give me something familiar to work with, something I can resonate with, right? For example, firma. So if you go for social media, right, you have tons and tons of platforms at the moment, and none of them should be more important than the other. And a little bit like off topic, but still on topic, let's say, I think Spotify is getting close to this. You have Canvas, you can share your playlist. I think maybe soon you can comment on each other playlists, like, I don't know. But the thing is, in order to not get burned out regarding this whole social media thing, the whole trade, I think it's a madness, and all the algorithms are changing time after time, because most of these platforms don't have a profitable business plan at the moment, even the streaming's one. So if you're actually focusing on a single platform and doing all the best campaigns to get the people to that platform, it's possible that in a month or something like that, the algorithm is changing and you cannot actually benefit anymore from that, right? We go again to Spotify, where you used to have, I don't know, let's say, artists like you. You should have been like very careful with that, not to be associated with a different kind of music, because it would fuck up the whole algorithm. Now no one cares about that. Spotify at the moment is the same as in terms of ChatGPT, let's say. It means, I see you laughing, it's not. What I'm telling you is, if you get a release, the most important hours of the release are the first 24 hours. If you get press around the release, right? Spotify algorithm is searching through the Google algorithm, and to have it pushed naturally, this is something you maybe didn't think of, is getting from Google the most press release stuff, and is saying, oh, look, these guys in the first hours of the release it's like a lot of people are talking about them, even if they're swearing the band or something like that. Like, they don't know, the machine doesn't know if it's good or bad. But the thing is very possible the streaming media by default organically is going to increase the reach and suggestions to the other users who probably never heard of your band. It's just because of this. So whenever you do, when you're launching your social media on all the platforms and everything like that, it's best to build a fan avatar. That means like, who could be your fan, right? Who could listen to my music? Like, what would the demographic be and everything else? You should practice a brand ID. I say practice because probably you don't know how to build it, but it's in most terms, let's say it's something like how you're dressing, like how you're reacting to stuff. Who are your competitors? This is very important. So as long as you get more information about this baby band that you're building up, is the better. Also, look where you follow your favorite artists. That should say a lot about where you're going to with your band, and where do you like to hang out on socials. Basically, the whole thing about choosing your social media is about amplifying what you already are, right? So why would you do this? So you create experience for your fans. You engage with each post, and you design each post to create an interactive and memorable experience for your audience. This is very important because the emotional connection and the experience you offer them in the live show or online is the reason why they keep staying with you on the long term, right? So gain valuable data for a cold introduction. So it's best to target the right audience from the start as much as you can. You gotta collect the data to understand the ideal person to engage with, and use this info to tailor your cold introduction effectively. You also, as I said before, avoid the social media burnout as long as you talk on your favorite social media and the topics that most describe you the most as human or as musician or everything else, you kind of avoid this looking out for trends to follow, and you are already behind if you do that, I mean, in my opinion. You also target audiences based on individual interest, so you can have a personalized approach, and so you can craft your content on their specific interests and preferences and everything else. And also, the geo-targeting is very important. You gotta understand also where they are and where they're also on which platforms they engage with you the most, right? So basically, it's a very slow process. But as I said before, it's the discipline. You gotta be steady, and yeah, consistency is power. So in terms of audiences, how do you start this? Basically, you look for related artists in your genre. So you gotta go through the Spotify related artists, through Google, and through Chartmetrics. Or maybe you're not gonna look after your release, so you're gonna look after your idol or whoever you're following that the music is matching the genre, right? So that's one of the ways. Chartmetric, by the way, it's a tool I use to measure the social media and the streaming and everything else as a bunch, and not going specifically for the insights in each platform. It gives you like an insight of everything, right? Then you look for local publications and brands that feature artists like you, contact outlets. As I said before, that's very important for your streaming release as well, and it's best to have press written by you. Then you have your native social media ads. So this is very interesting because these are call-to-arm ad generating machines. It sounds very cool, right? It's like it's a machine. And the thing is, and recommendation algorithm. So basically this call-to-arm generating machine, this is when you have your website built up already, right? So you have your pixel already installed into Facebook. See, if you would have done that presentation, perhaps people would have got more information about it. So what does the pixel do? The pixel is gathering the, how do you say, the behavior of the consumer. So how long they stay on your website, on what page, on what device, what time, everything else, right? So you can make ads based on that. And the recommendation algorithm, that's basically the algorithm that it's defined by the shares on social platforms, the likes and everything else. So one is basically data-driven, very strict, and the other one is more, let's say, I don't know, yeah, more reaction-oriented, let's say. Right. So the whole thing with, brands and the other interests that are connected to your genre. So something interesting happened. I worked with an artist from UK, and I was like, this girl, she was a photographer, she was very empowering, a very nice character, and I was like, telling the artist, and it's like, we should get her and she should make our album artwork, right? So let's do a session with her. So what happened was that we did the session with her, and we found this picture. I was like, this is amazing. This should be the artwork. I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't know. It just, the picture ended up in Vogue Italia, being tagged and everything else. And at the moment, obviously, everywhere on the internet, she appears at the moment. It's like you have Vogue Italia, Vogue Italia, Vogue Italia. That was a very interesting experience to have. And regarding streams, in order to obtain a little bit more data about this, you should do direct to Spotify campaigns, and obviously Spotify playlist submissions. It's still an ongoing stuff. Unfortunately, the services are too expensive, and I believe if you are going to throw money into this, and even if it's legit, it's something you shouldn't back off from. So it's something you should keep doing, honestly. So I would advise you, don't do it. So regarding targeting and audiences, interests, interactions, lookalike, and everything else, you should define your audience, like focus on the genre, interests, and demographics. For social media ads, targets users. Thank you. And now I have to go like this to actually see what's in the monitor. Okay, target users who like similar artists or have an interest in related music genres. So whenever you're creating your cold audience, right, it's best to have like the biggest bands in your genre and then add even more. So when you're creating a cold ad and you're reaching to, I don't know, it's a band name, whoever you're sounding like, it's best to add at least 7 or 8 into that a whole interest thing. And it's best as well to create 7 audiences like this. Do not repeat the bands into them. So it's basically what I'm saying, at least 7 audiences, each audience with 7 artists in interest, because Facebook doesn't find everyone. And run 7 ads with each audience, do the tests, and see which audience is performing best, right? Okay, so we go for lookalike audiences, which is the best audience actually you can use. These are, you gotta create ads for audiences similar to your existing fans, attract new followers. These are the people who are very, very, very similar to the audience that already interacted with you. And then you gotta check the status, refine the strategy of everything and see where you have to improve. I see I've missed something here, I think. The opt-in campaigns. These are the campaigns that everyone hates the most. Is the how should I say? Whenever you do something, is something like you receive a gift. If you sign up or anything like this, the thing is these are very stressful because they simply appear everywhere. And something else I forgot to mention, and it's very important: the fan finder video. This should be basically the first campaigns you should start with. A fan finder video is where you're basically kind of singing in a very let's say, not in a studio, not in a concert stage, just be in an environmental friendliness, somewhere where people can relate to you. Let's say it should also be something like one shot, like filmed with I don't know, with a phone or something like that. It shouldn't be something professional, is what I mean, because people will resonate not only with the song, but with everything that's in the video as well. So it doesn't have to be actually professional. I think, in my opinion, this should be the first way to start your ads. So content creation, building the foundation. First of all, in this corner, you have the recurring media, where it's very important. Podcasts, weekly videos, live streams, email subscribers. It doesn't have to be all. You can just choose 1 or 2, honestly. The content ideas are basically recorded music, live performance, interviews, BTS, vlogs, everything else. The whole idea of having your social media in place, your website, everything at the present, and all this content, plus recurring content, plus everything else, is the fact that you can give your fan the idea of obsessive discovery, the fear of missing out, let's say. You give that, right? So this is what's happening here, is whenever they discover you, it's best to see you everywhere if they look for you, right? So you have social platforms and the different type of content. You have the Instagram, which is the killer app. This is something you use mostly on short term, like when you're in a lunch break, when you're in the subway, on your way home, or something like that. But now you're kind of starting to like close the app, especially when you see at the end of the videos on Instagram, CapCut. So that's when you know you gotta move on TikTok. You have Threads. It's not such a big deal, but that's basically, in my opinion, the former TikTok as it used to be, like everyone giving opinions and shit. So it's good to be there as well. Facebook sucks, but it's still good for ongoing conversation and still the best market for ads, like their user interface regarding their market. It's still the best. YouTube, still the biggest streaming service and second search engine in the world, probably gonna get on the third after ChatGPT soon. And then TikTok is still developing in our fields. What I've heard, yeah, let's say that about this area of Europe is the geo-targeting is very local. So even though you speak in a different language or anything else, you still get like only Romanian stuff. It's not yet so well, let's say, built up. And there's also an issue with this side of Europe is the fact that even Facebook, TikTok, and everyone has some creative programs or beta programs for testing stuff, and they never get to this side of Europe. That's very, very bad at the moment. The most used platforms for the rock scene, let's say, for social media are at the moment Reddit, YouTube, and Discord, and probably for most genres as well is the best community-oriented platforms, because that's where you actually create the community. It's on the Facebook and everything else, you kind of promote yourself, let's say. Like the real things at the moment are happening here. So basically, you should find your audience, keep up the flow, plan ahead, and the biggest issue, I think, is don't be late to adapt out of ego. Like, for example, being in a band, I shouldn't create TikTok. Like, this is not for me. I don't have TikTok. Like, why would I? This is like, go for it. You're going to be shit at the beginning, but then you're going to get better. So if you don't start anytime soon, you're going to progress very, very slow. So what you might have missed regarding social media is the fact that the option save is one of the best options to actually use, is the fact that save is more important than likes, than comments, than shares, and everything else. If people save more your posts, it will also appear, this is on Instagram strictly, it will appear on other people who organically that don't follow you or know you yet, your posts are going to be there. And I'm sure it happened many times that you get posts in feeds from people that you never engaged with, but they're just because of that, you're going to get it. You have Facebook keywords in comments. That's also very interesting. Because it's increasing the chances that your post, again, will pop up in the Facebook search engine for whatever it is. You have the YouTube timestamps, which does basically the same thing. If you have in YouTube, if you give a title for each timestamp, it's just that title will probably get in the search engines regarding that specific thing you're doing it. So if if you don't do this, it's like nothing's basically gonna happen, right? What else do you have here? It's best to time your posts when your audience is most active. Hashtags, links, best to be in the first comment. And why is that? Like, I don't know if you saw, but if you post the YouTube link, like this is my video, this is my release, and it's on Facebook, Facebook and YouTube are competitors. Facebook doesn't like to send people off their platform somewhere else, right? So it's best to have most, how should I say, native posts, pictures and videos into Facebook directly. And now we get to the education stage. So what does that mean? You already have recurring media. You have selected it. Once again, these are some weekly videos, some streams, like something you do on a regular basis. You have the social media, page optimization. Fucking do that. It doesn't take a long time. Like whenever you release something, just make sure everything is updated with the same profile picture, the same cover photo, and everything else. Everything should be on top, right? You have the top campaigns. You have your fan finder. You know the video that I said. Like don't film it in a professional environment. Just make it very friendly because people now. Back in the days, I understand that everyone was very professional looking like, and the artist was something unapproachable. Right now, it's about community, and so you gotta be approachable. You gotta be friendly. You gotta talk to your fans. You gotta reply to their DMs and everything else. So, funnel based. Once again, was you offer something, someone takes it, you give something else. Like just keep them funnel based. Is everything is something recurring, not in terms of content, but in like personal experience and everything else. Free ship and handle campaigns. Like if you have a $60 T-shirt or something else, give a CD with it for free. Probably CDs don't sell that much, right? Or what was that? Oh yeah, or guitar picks or everything else. So just give something. The whole idea of introduction stage and education stage is that do not ask your fans to do something for you. You always have to give. Like you give and you give and you give and you keep them interested into it. Do not ask for them to do stuff for you. That's why the opt-in campaign was a high risk, because you are actually asking for something from them, right? So it's something that could work, but it's a risky one. So where you look for engagement, you look in reacts, in comments, in shares, clicks, page views, saves, swipes, everything else. Where you create the custom audience through the metrics that you have on your business account. You already have those, called audiences. But also the recurring ads, you have the pixel installed and everything else. So you get, as I said, the customers' behavior and everything else. You look in events, people who responded. I don't know if that works anymore. Does it? The events when people respond, and I haven't actually done an audience page. Is it? All right. Facebook page is also audience. This is more good for the introduction phase. Video metrics. Very good custom audience. Not necessarily go for the 3 seconds one. Just go for like at least 50%, 70%, 90% of video views. It's best to push those when you have them at the start through the cold audience, so you get enough views to work with, in fact. All right, so we go to the endearing phase in education, where just be nice to people and reply to them. Just do DM conversations and everything, retargeting videos. You have now video views metrics, as I said, live streaming, education materials, blogs, lyrics, backlog content, biography, and everything else. Bots. So what I mean about bots is I used and I would still use ManyChat. You don't know about it, all right? So basically, you know, when you're writing a message to a page and you get an instant reply on your messenger, yeah, that's about it. So you create the channel and you can do actually fun games with it. The whole idea is that the fans are actually kind of scared to talk to you regarding of the stage your band is. So in order to make it comfortable, you can actually make them a trivia or something, you know, just something to interact with. And at the end, you can actually make them say whatever they wanted to say. It's very interesting. What else? So it's best to gather all the data, obviously, about your fans. So we need to understand the gap between our assumptions and the truth, right? So we got to look at all the insights regarding our fans, just so we know what kind of message we deliver to them, right? We can get these through Google Forms, Facebook group polls, Instagram stories, comments, everything like this. We can get insights about them. So this happens in order to tailor your topics to set up the next conversations. And also the topic wheels, we're going to talk in a second. So you see here, creating your topic wheel. This topic wheel is very important and it's something you're going to carry with you for many years. It reflects your own personality, your personal story. It consults already with the data, with the existing data you have, and you engage with fan discussions, so you get an idea about the real story you're talking, the real way you're talking about yourself and with your fans, right? So I guess the best thing is to build this world for fans. So the main idea is switching from a promotion mindset to a connection one. So at the beginning, you're going to be promotion. You're going to test everything. You're going to see what resonates best with you, best with your fans, and just go on with that. So as an artist, embracing a connection mindset over a promotion mindset allows you to share the best parts of yourself in a genuine way. Connection itself is actually your promotion. To build this connection, treat your social media profiles as a world rather than just a space to display content, right? And as a thank you, if you give me your data, your personal info, you send me an email and you're interested, I can send you a performance analysis and a DTF plan for you and your band to look over it and tailor it on your material, so it can help you actually move on a little bit faster and have a bigger understanding regarding towards you're going. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation. If you have questions or remarks. So, thank you, Ella.
Thank you.
So now we are about finishing finally this workshop. So just to tell you that the running ads presentation, it will be online. You can download it. and you will have the practical view of what Ella explained before, how to create an audience, what's the difference between interest, interactions, and lookalike, because these strategies are really important. If you understand how to use it, it can change the impact of your promotion online. So it's really like a tutorial with images where you have to click, etc. So you can make it at home without the need of a presentation. And now the final conclusions. Yes, final conclusions. Just some opportunities from ERA project for the young bands, because we have nice opportunities for the bands who wants to participate in the project. There is a chapter with resources. Of course, I won't present it, but if you want to know what tools we are using these bands on our management and promotion, you will find it. And of course, general Q&A if you have final questions. So just opportunities from ERA project. I think for the young bands, the most interesting thing could be the Young Talent Contest. We will start it in April, I think. Yes, it's written there. It will be open for young bands, maximum 30 years old for all members. There will be 3 sections in the contest, one for Romania and Moldova, one for Slovakia and Czech Republic, and one for Poland and Ukraine. We will be on a line and jury voting 50-50%. Something to know, it will not be with likes because we had bad experience with it. So it will be something more complex with email, with confirmation by email to be sure that the fans who will vote for the band are real fans. And each section, because there are 3 sections, there will be 3 winners. Winners for Czech Republic and Slovakia, for Poland and Ukraine, and 1 winner for Romania. And the winner will be qualified and will be played to ERA Festival at the final festival of the project. And the top will be established by the jury voting only. And the prices. For instance, we have more than 10,000 euros value prices, so it could be really interesting. You will, the band who will win will play at ERA Festival, but also there are monetary prizes, 4,500 euro cash, it's not really cash, and equipment, slots at the festival, software, studio, etc. As an example, for international winner, the price will be 2,000 euros. We already have headphones from Meze headphones, really nice gear. From Drameo, we will have in-ear headphones for all members. We will have guitar software, membership of Musora platforms, and free assistance for touring kit preparation, and so on, so on. So they are nice prizes. Another opportunity is the artist portal. Also will start in April. The idea is to bring their bands from the participating country who wants to connect with bands from other countries. So by default, the bands that will enter the contest will be part of the artist portal. The objective in long term for the artist portal is to make a platform of exchanging touring together. So it could be a nice thing for the bands. And the professional database, this will be rather in May that we will do it. It will be a geolocated database with venues, with festivals, with professional, to make easier for touring bands to find information. Because nowadays you have information in your own country, but if you want to play abroad, it's quite difficult to know where are venues, what are their capacity, who to contact. So this is the objective of the database. Resources are for touring, content creation, online distribution and promotion, internal communication, crowdfunding solution, and AI solution. This could be another topic for a new workshop about AI impact in the music industry. So thank you, everybody. If you have some questions or something to add. So thank you all, thank you very much. The project continues tomorrow with a concert here in Bucharest at Quantic. Saturday we are in Brasov at Reduta, and Sunday the 3 bands, Helenine Oci, Dirty Shirt and Litka Grubasa, will be at Cluj. And the tour will continue in March with 3 shows in Prague, Trenčín, and Bratislava. And in April, 3 shows in Wrocław, Warsaw, and Krakow. So thank you again, and see you on the show. Bye-bye.